Indeed a new day, a great evening, morning, afternoon, depending with where you are watching us from. Welcome on board. This is the Unspoken. We have just had an awesome, exciting, blessing program by Trevilla, the Spiritual Symphony. A great show right there, and we are getting into another level. That now we are talking of issues and things that affect us directly or indirectly. If you're not affected, you are infected. My good name is Wangui Gachanja, bado sijabadilisha jina wala nia. I am here on Oracle TV. The program is Unspoken. This is a program that comes live to you every Friday from 6 p.m. all through to 7 p.m. It is a program that talks about issues that we face daily, on a day-to-day, as long as you're under this sun. These are things that you may be able, or you may face, or if you're not facing, your family member is facing them. And today in studio, I am so glad and happy that I have a friend, a guest that is going to be talking about something totally different from what we have been talking the last 2 weeks. And today we go held. We began with an overview of this program. Last week we talked about grief, and today we are going the health way. So I want to introduce my guest, to welcome my guest. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Probably you can tell us, not probably, please introduce yourself.
Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Eileen Abigail Aitza. I'm a certified clinical nutritionist at Section 58 AAR.
Okay.
Yeah, so AAR is an outpatient center, and we have many clinics. Here in Nakuru we have 2. We have several in Nairobi, and then we are also located in other towns. So it is an excellent center, and I am proud to be associated.
Okay, great. So now you have it there. We are having Dr. Eileen. Hey, my friend Eileen Abigail from AAR Nakuru, and today, because I've told you we are dealing with matters health, we will be telling you in a short while what we are talking about. But in case you are following us, we are live on our Facebook page, that is Mountain of Deliverance Church. We are also live on YouTube, that is the Oracle Television Network, that is our YouTube page. You can also talk to us on our number that is on your screen, 0782783436. You can SMS us, you can WhatsApp us. Those are the numbers that we are using. 36 is our SMS number, is our phone number, is our WhatsApp number. But Facebook, we are on Mountain of Deliverance Church. YouTube, we are on the Oracle Television Network. You can also follow us on Oracle Mkononi app. Make sure that you have your phone anywhere. I'm saying this as you welcome your neighbor, you welcome your friend, you welcome your colleague. Tell them that the Unspoken is now live from the Oracle studio. So we have Dr. Eileen Abigail in our studios this evening, and she has said that she is a certified nutritionist. So when we talk about nutrition, what are we talking about? Tuache kukula ngano? You know, when we see you people, we just know we are not supposed to eat wheat. Who is a nutritionist?
So a nutritionist is basically an individual who has been trained on different aspects of nutrition in regards to specific diseases. Yeah, so there is a lot in management of diseases, and a nutritionist can also be based in the community. So it's not a must for a nutritionist to be based in the hospital. They can be a community nutritionist, they can be a sports nutritionist. The sports ni wale wanapatikana kwa gym. Yeah, so it's quite a wide area that is growing, and it's being embraced right now in Africa. But of course, in the Western countries, nutrition is something that is really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you don't have to necessarily be in the hospital for you to be a nutritionist. But today we are going to be looking at lifestyle diseases and nutrition.
Yes.
What are lifestyle diseases?
Okay, so lifestyle diseases are basically the diseases or conditions that we get medically because of our habitual practices.
Okay.
So the things that we do on a daily basis, at the end of the day, will make us acquire a certain disease. And when you talk about lifestyle diseases, you're also talking about diseases that it means that you have been practicing something over a period of time. So it's not that you are eating fries today and then you got obesity tomorrow. Yeah, so it's something you've been doing over a period of time. So for you to become obese and be graded as obese, then it means it began from somewhere. And that's why we are talking about lifestyle diseases. Yeah.
Okay, so lifestyle diseases is something that is habitual.
Yes.
Something that you have been doing.
Yes.
Is it only on eating?
Basically, it's about anything that goes through your mouth.
Okay.
Because when you talk about nutrition, it's a science of ingestion, up to the point that you'll be excreting whatever you have ingested.
Okay.
So other people may ingest alcohol or drugs per se, and at the end of the day, they will acquire a lifestyle disease. For example, in alcohol, we have a condition called liver cirrhosis. So at the end of the day, liver cirrhosis is a lifestyle disease. Why? Because it came as a result of what the person or the individual took through their mouth. And then because they have been doing it over a period of time, now there are repercussions to their habits.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I hope up to there, my viewer, it is clear what a lifestyle disease is. So what we are saying, even before we go on with this program, take care of what you take through your mouth. And we will be looking at it. What are we supposed to take? What are we not supposed to take? And which are these lifestyle diseases? You have mentioned liver cirrhosis. Oh my God. Hey, kwa nini mgonjwa za wawa jina ngumu ngumu hivyo? All right. Which other lifestyle diseases do we have?
Okay, so I think it is very important to begin from the precursor of most of the lifestyle diseases. So basically, obesity is usually the underlying factor. Just to name a few lifestyle diseases, we have diabetes, and diabetes can be type 1 or type 2. We have hypertension, or mostly known as high blood pressure, and it's also a lifestyle disease, which is also classified as a cardiovascular disease. And then we have kidney diseases. So in the kidney disease, you can either have acute kidney disease or you have chronic kidney failure. So most of the time we've had people getting kidney failure. So all these are linked to a person's weight, obesity. And that's why we as a nutritionist, we will always begin from what is your weight? How careful are you in monitoring your weight at the end of the day?
All right.
Yeah.
So the key thing is obesity.
Yes.
So let's start from there.
Yes.
Am I obese? Are you obese? This is becoming a little bit complicated, because I thought high blood pressure, I see even kids having high blood pressure. I mean diabetes, sorry.
Yeah.
I see even kids having diabetes. So how do you get to know that you are on the road to obesity? Can you actually even know that you're on the way to obesity?
Yes, you can. That is why we usually have measures, or we call them anthropometric measurements. So things like weight, height. Whenever you visit any facility that is hospital, healthcare, you will always be tested. It's the first place, like triage. You are admitted in the hospital, or you want to see a consultant, you're first sent to the nurse's room, and that is the first thing they take. your height, your weight. They want to know what is the ratio of your weight in kgs over your height in centimeters. So nowadays we are developing more because we are realizing that the weight of we Africans, African American women, or even just the African population is not the same as the white population. And we know that BMI originated from the Western countries, US. So right now we are becoming more conversant with methods like body composition, whereby you can know your fat percentage. Is your fat in the range, the supposed range? Yeah, you can also know your visceral fat, your abdominal fat. So all these types of fat.
Abdominal fat?
Yes.
How do you know that?
Yeah, so we have instruments, or let me say tools. So one of the tools is called vernier scapulars, which are just used to they hold the skin or the fat that is around your belly, and then now they're able to give measurements. Yeah, so we can be able to tell what is our fat percentage. We can also be able to tell our muscle percentage, because now we have the triceps and the biceps. So we can always be able to measure all those things whenever you visit a hospital facility, and if you're keen on generally your health and your body composition.
All right.
Yeah, so basically what we are saying is that we are advancing more. And we are not only dependent on the weight and height ratio to tell us whether a person is within the normal range, but we have the fat percentage, which is a more comprehensive way of grading a person's health.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. We are now looking at the obese person. What about these children? Because at times you give birth to a child who is overweight, and even in their growth, you find out that that person, they are already obese. By obese, that person is fat. That is what we understand, we Africans. Mtu akiwa amenona ako obese. So hawa watoto ambao wako na mwili mnene. What do you do about that? Even before we get now to us to understand what to do and what not to do.
The reason why I mentioned about body composition or body fat composition, basically it's because of that. Because you realize that a child is born and it's in their genes. It's now a matter of, it's a genetic factor. So it means that people in that family tend to have big weight, if I might say. Yeah, so it means that this child needs to be monitored even as they are growing up, because now the consumption of foods that are highly processed will now become, like indicators or maybe pointers that this child is at risk of suffering from either diabetes type 2, because diabetes type 2 is acquired through what we eat. Yes, and we usually say that age is a risk factor when you talk about diabetes. Yeah, so I hope I've answered your question.
Partly, but I think as we continue, we'll be able to understand this. So when we are talking about obesity, what causes obesity? We have seen how you identify that you are obese. Yeah. But what causes this obesity?
Okay. So I think also on the gradings, it's important I mention the gradings of for us to say that you are obese. It means that you lie within a specific range. So from 18.5 to 24.9, it means that this person is normal. So anytime you go to the hospital...
18.5 what?
18.5 kilograms per meter squared. Yes, because you've said it's the ratio of the weight to the height. Yes. Okay. And then now from 25 to 29.9, this person is overweight.
Okay.
Then from 30 to 34.9, this person is obese grade 1. And the graph goes up.
It even has grades?
Yes, it has grades.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So that is now the diagnosis of obesity. We are now saying that this person is obesity.
All right.
Do you mind pardoning the question?
I had asked, what causes obesity?
Okay.
Yes.
So basically, what causes obesity is generally lifestyle. The types of foods that you choose to eat. If you eat highly processed foods, this means that you are taking a lot of fries, which we love so much as Kenyans. You're taking a lot of smokies, sausages, bacons, And you know, like these food eateries are the most popular.
Yes.
Someone would rather go to KFC than enter a restaurant and maybe just ask for pilau, beef pilau or something like that. So we are saying that the increase in the intake of highly processed foods is the cause of obesity. Yes, because the definition of obesity is accumulation of fat in the body.
All right.
Yeah.
Accumulation of fats in the body. Which fats are these? Apart from fries, because I think everything has fats.
Yes.
Avocado, it's fats.
Yes.
Eggs, fats. Meat, fat. Chicken, fish, beans, everything is fatty. So are you telling us, Dr. Eileen, that we are not supposed to take anything? Tukunywe tu maji moto?
No, not really. So there's healthy fats and there's bad fats.
Okay.
So the kind of fat that we're talking about here is the bad fat. And the bad fats, scientifically, we call it saturated fats or trans fats.
Okay.
And the processed foods that I've mentioned, like fries, smokies, sausages, they are high in what we call the saturated fats. So there's the good fats, like the fat that is found in avocados, the fat that is found in nuts. Those are very healthy fats. And that's why you are always advised as an individual, whenever you go to the hospital, make it a habit to screen. You know, just know your lipid profile, because there's the good fat in your body and there's the bad fat. So whenever you get the screening, then you're able to know, I lie here, I need to improve on the intake of healthy fats, or I need to stop taking the bad fats. Because all these things we consume will always be indicated in our blood whenever we go for screening.
Oh.
Yes.
So there is a screening for fat?
Yes, it's called the lipid profile.
Is it in the public hospitals?
Yes, I might say it is there. Yeah, but I'm very sure that most of the private hospitals have really focused on this because they focus on individualized care.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. In case you are joining us, this is the Unspoken on Oracle TV. My name is Wangui Gachanja, and we are talking on lifestyle diseases. And we have been told by Dr. Eileen that the cut line is obesity. If you're dealing with diabetes, check on your weight. If you're dealing with high blood pressure, check on your weight. If you're dealing with currently, we are the nation and globally, we have been looking at the kidney diseases. Check on your weight. And we have begun by saying it is what we intake, what we eat, not what we drink. Mostly you have said it is what we eat. And we have seen that there are healthy fats and unhealthy fats. So, you have found yourself that you are obese. How do you start this journey now?
Very good
By
question.
the way, wengi wetu tuko hapo. Yes.
Yes. That is a very good question.
And before we get there,
Yes.
can you be obese and you're not fat?
Not really. It will always show on the weighing scale.
All right.
You know, the moment you step on the weighing scale, the numbers are 80, 90, 100. And you know, we've said that it's the ratio of your weight to your height.
Okay.
So as long as your height is okay with the weight that you have, you will always lie within the normal range.
All right.
Yeah, but it's very rare to find that a person who is slim is obese.
Okay.
So the other factor that I think I should mention is that what can happen is that a lean person can have cholesterol levels, the bad cholesterol, to be elevated. So when you're talking about the fat, I was talking about now the level of fats that we have. We have talked about the good cholesterol, which is the HDL, and then the bad cholesterol, which is the LDL. So even if I am lean, there is a very big probability that I have bad cholesterol because it's just as a matter of what I'm consuming.
All right.
Yeah.
So you can be lean and still obese. Because some people, the reason why I'm asking that question, we believe it is until you have falling meat and you're not able to walk or you cannot do your normal duties, that is when we say that person is obese.
Okay, so obesity, mostly, as I've mentioned, it goes hand in hand with the weight. With the weight.
Okay.
So the more a person has less weight, the more they can never be graded as
Obese.
Obese. Excuse me.
No problem.
Yeah.
All right. So we have said you have discovered that you're obese. Now we have started the journey. Where do we begin?
Okay. So the journey to weight loss is usually a very good journey when it is taken care by the medical practitioners. I think it is very important for me to mention that, because nowadays there's so many methods that have come up for people to control their weight.
Yes.
Yeah, and the best place to start is from the hospital, where you work together with your physician and your nutritionist, because that will involve screening, so that you can know, even as we are cutting weight, what are the levels of your cholesterol in the blood, what are the levels of your uric acid. Uric acid is an indicator that that person is consuming a lot of processed meats, that person is consuming a lot of processed foods. So once we have screened you and we have found your body and most of the electrolytes, how they are in your body, then we can be able to now guide you. This is through a meal plan. We usually do diet plan and advise a lot of physical exercise. So that is the most natural way of managing weight.
Okay.
Yes. So needless to say, there are other methods that have come up. There's one that is about inserting wires in the jaw so that they can reduce how you consume, or the rate in which you consume foods. So we have heard of balloon. People getting a balloon inserted through the mouth through an endoscopy, and then now it is inflated using saline, so that it creates fullness. Of course, utakuwa unahisi umeshiba most of the time. So people are using very many methods outside here, which I think it is important for us to bring to light that it is good to be disciplined, so that you can be able to do what? To trim or maybe to manage our weight.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Balloon. You said what, jaws?
Jaw fitting wires.
Jaw fitting wires. All those things are to help you reduce the weight.
Yeah, people are adapting that right now. But medically speaking, we really advise people to go the natural way. Just consume the foods that you need to consume, so that you can be able to control your cholesterol levels in the body.
We have someone who is watching us right now, and by what we have said, they already feel like they have not been on the right track, but they are not, he or she is not able to get this medical attention. He or she is not able to get the balloon and all the other things. Mimi mwenye niko nyumbani, how do I control myself? How do I get myself back? Because an obese person is someone who has lost their self somewhere. So how do we get this person back with whatever they have in the house?
That's a very good question. So to begin with, any person who is obese, first of all, the first step is to accept that they are obese. The weight is here, and now need to do what? To deal with it. Secondly, they now need to know which type of foods can I choose, so that at the end of the day, they're reducing the amount of fat. Because remember, we've said that obesity is the accumulation of fat in the body. So what do I need to take? So first and foremost, we usually advise carbohydrates. When you look at a normal plate, like Kenyans, the way we've been brought up, ever since our parents brought us up, kuna kuwa na ugali kwa sahani, kuna mboga, and some protein on the plate. So one is to consume a balanced diet. And this balanced diet, we're saying that half of the plate should be vegetables, and not ugali like the way we are used. We are used that carbohydrates are the biggest portion. So what you're saying is that consume plenty of vegetables. And these vegetables, majorly we advise green leafy vegetables. So the likes of managu, terere, kahorora, spinach, skuma, name all of them. Seveve, yes. We should be able to consume all these green leafy vegetables. Why? Because they are high in fiber. And this fiber is what we are targeting, so that you can be able to reduce the cholesterol. Cholesterol ni mafuta yenye iko kwa mwili. Yeah, so that is the first step for a person with obesity. Check on your plate, portion control.
So veggies reduce fats.
Yes. Veggies
just
reduce
veggies, not adding anything. Not adding vinegar, not adding lemon, not...
No, when you're talking about a balanced diet, it's just vegetables. The way you're preparing, whatever method you choose, whether you choose to boil and consume them like that, but we don't advise you to really boil vegetables, maybe blanching, because blanching is just dipping in hot water and then removing. You can either steam, or maybe you stew, or maybe you saute. You just cook with oil.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is just vegetables. Then you talk about the other half of the plate, you have carbohydrates, yes, and proteins. So zinagawana the quarter that is remaining. Yeah, so you have your protein there. So protein, we advise that take a lot of white meat, take a lot of cereals. They are available. We have maharagwe in form of njahi, red beans, yellow beans if you are affected with acidity, you know, kunandengu, kamande. Those are all options.
You can do beans to reduce weight.
Yes.
Okay.
You can. What matters is the portion.
Okay.
It's the portion. So in weight control, we don't really restrict you from eating the natural foods. We encourage you to eat the natural foods. The only thing is variety. Then to finish on my plate, the other quarter, we have carbohydrates. So when you're talking about carbohydrates, you're talking about ugali, chapati, mchele. So those ones, if ugali it gets number 2, the better. Because now we are discouraging people from taking highly processed foods.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we have said half of your plate it's vegetable,
yes,
leafy vegetables, quarter carbohydrates, quarter protein.
Yes.
Now, I have seen this thing. We even had a challenge. You know, Kenya is a country with challenges.
Yeah.
We've had a challenge for no wheat, no starch. Do our bodies get affected when we abstain from this kind of foods? Because we are told intake of starch is dangerous, intake of wheat is dangerous. So you find I am on veggies and lemon. What is the negative side of it?
Okay. So I think it's important to mention whenever any person is doing weight control, work with a medical practitioner. And in this case, your physician and your nutritionist. Because when you're talking about starches, there is a diet that is conventionally researched and agreed on, and it's called ketogenic diet. So this keto diet is generally a low carbohydrate diet. It's a low carbohydrate diet. This means that at least one meal in a day you have omitted carbohydrates. And mostly we advise during dinner because you're going to sleep and most of your organs are going to slow in their process. So it means that metabolism is not going to take place in the rate that it takes place during the day. Yeah. So it is dangerous for a person to do without starches totally. But it is important for me to mention that they are legumes like beans that are starchy. So you might find a person is just doing beans and some vegetables. So that person has already catered for the starch component because the beans are rich in the protein and they also have some level of starch. That's why a diabetic patient can be advised to just take the beans and the vegetables because the starch component is already catered for beans. Yeah.
All right. In case you have any question regarding what we are talking about today, because I believe most of us are dealing with weight issues. If you're not dealing with it personally, a friend, a family member is dealing with it. Any question that you may be having concerning this, please talk to us through 0782783436. You can also get us on our YouTube page, the Oracle Television Network. We are also on WhatsApp, 0782783436. Remember, you can also partner with this program, the Unspoken, for us to continue putting this program on the airwaves. To partner with us, our pay bill number will be on your screen shortly, so you can be part of this program. You can also advertise together with this program, become a sponsor of this program. We are with Dr. Eileen in the studio. She is a certified nutritionist from AAR Nakuru, and we are talking about lifestyle diseases, and we have begun on a very, very touchy topic, more so because we are women, and you know we are one of the prime candidates of weight issues. And many a times, actually, I've seen people who their self-esteem has gone very down because of their weight issues. And I think the advices, as you have said, we have everybody trying to become a medic when it comes to treating obesity or overweight, even before obesity. What is this with lemon? Because everybody is on lemon. I don't know if you have heard about rice water. So many formulas coming up. What is the disadvantage of it? Because it works to some, but do they have a side effect in the long term?
Okay, so lemon as a type of food,
Yes.
or a type of fruit,
Yes.
it is true that it has cholesterol lowering components. Yeah, so any person who is taking lemon either in their water or in their tea, it is okay. The only thing in nutrition we usually say, do not overconsume anything. Because at the end of the day, anything you overindulge will have repercussions.
Yes.
Yes. So that's why I say that diet is the most acceptable way of managing weight. And it is always diet plus exercise.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not just the diet, it's not just what you eat, but also your physical activity.
Alright.
So what is your level of physical activity? That is a question that we should always be able to answer.
Okay.
Yeah, so the other notions that are out there of rice water, these are things that cannot work independently. So we usually say, take your balanced diet, and the way you've agreed with your nutritionist, according to maybe the grade of your obesity, there are people we can do like keto diet. You've mentioned low starch. So it is not totally no carbohydrates in the
yes.
diet, but it is low carbohydrates.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
There's also another method called intermittent fasting, but it should only be done within some specific number of hours, usually 12 hours. So anything overdone, the problem with people is that when they get
overdo.
Yes, you overdo and then it has repercussions.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is very important to monitor. Even as you are controlling your weight, just have someone that you're working with so that you can be able to monitor at the end of the day.
All right. Somebody has asked me here, good evening, Wangui, very nice show. Can I do gym as a weight loss procedure?
Yes, you can do gym, and as long as the instructor who is working with you knows that you are doing gym for weight loss, then it is very okay.
Okay.
But needless to say, yes, it is needful for me to say that gym should be combined with diet. Yeah, so don't just do gym and you're not eating foods in the portions that you're supposed to do.
Okay.
So in the gym, there are many exercises, at least as far as I'm concerned. The exercises to build the muscle, the upper body. Then the exercises which just target the abdominal, fat. There are exercises just for general, you just want to keep fit. So as long as you have an instructor and you're guided on all those, just don't do gym blindly. Yeah, just have someone whom you're also working with.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. We are talking about obesity, and we have seen that most of us go through this kind of is it a disease really? Obesity, is it a disease or it is a condition?
It is a condition.
Okay.
It is a condition.
Which can be controlled.
Yes.
Okay. We have somebody who is at their old age, whom is alone. We have talked of having veggies, having carbohydrates and proteins, but this person is not able to have this kind of a balanced diet, not even old age. The economy right now is hitting people left, right, center.
Yeah.
If you're not able to get this balanced diet, what are you advised to do? Veggies, I know they are readily available. Saizi kumenyesha.
Yeah.
But what about the meat, the greens, the cereals? Is there a substitute?
No, there's really no substitute. What we usually do, nowadays we work with patients and we call it individualized care. Because people are different. There's someone who will come, I can afford white meat every day. And there's someone who will come, I cannot afford white meat every day, as much as you are advising me to do what? To take this white meat. So there are options. When you talk about proteins, we have plant proteins and we have animal proteins. So the plant proteins are readily available, I would say, because ndengu, the likes of Kamanda, is a bit expensive, I know. Beans, minji, they are all sources of proteins. So this person cannot miss at least one of those cereals, legumes, sorry. Yeah, so if this person cannot afford like meat on a daily basis, then they're able to afford either beans or they're able to afford green grams. So at any point, your diet must be balanced because there is always an option that is available.
Okay.
Yeah, that is cheaper and maybe your pockets can be able to accommodate.
Which gender is mostly affected by obesity?
The women.
Why women?
Okay, women are mostly affected with obesity. One, because of the nature of their, their lifespan, if I may say. Because a woman is okay until the time they reach the childbearing period. Because now that is where there's accumulation of fat because of the baby, and the intake of food, of course, during pregnancy increases a lot. And that is where most of the problems begin. Because even hypertension and diabetes, they are those conditions that just begin from the moment a woman is pregnant. There's gestational diabetes, and there's also hypertension for pregnant women. So what we are saying, the woman is more at risk because of the nature of their work and the nature of their lifespan, what they end up doing in their life. So what we usually advise women, even after giving birth, it is important to control or monitor your weight, such that you are advised even how you space your children, because that will really go a long way in helping you to control your weight. Birth spacing is a factor. Yeah, and then men most of the time.
So how are you supposed to space?
3 years.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah, so 3 years is recommended at least for spacing children. That means that the body has already regained its normal state. The nutrients that you lost earlier, you have regained. If there is fat that you needed to shed, you have shed.
Okay.
Yes, and of course we advise that you breastfeed your child exclusively. This means that there's a lot of weight that is going to be shed during that time. If you're doing exclusive breastfeeding, it means that you're not giving this baby any other type of food except the breast milk.
Breast milk.
Yeah. So as long as you're practicing exclusive breastfeeding, then the uterus contracts, and you find that even the fat around the abdomen is lost in the process. So I would say that it's important to work with the physician, a woman specifically.
All right.
Yeah.
Even before we touch on the man, am I able to control my weight while expectant?
No.
So hiyo kaende kama ni avocado tano tukule avocado tano.
Of course, you're not supposed to overdo the avocados. You're just supposed to be keen to increase the amount of food you used to eat before. Is not the same amount you will eat during pregnancy. It will increase, but increase all types of food, the food groups on the plate. You have the carbohydrates, you have the vegetables, you have the proteins. They'll all increase, and it's allowed. So weight control during pregnancy is not advised. So when nona too, the way you can nona, but later on we'll be able to take care of the issue.
So the 3 year span is when you'll be able now to take care of your weight back.
Yes.
What about men?
Okay, so men are, let me say, more on, we can say they are advantageous, because even the type of work they do most of the time involves a lot of energy. Yeah, so najua siku hizi tunasema hakuna kazi ya mwanamke na hakuna ya mwanamume.
What a man can do, a woman
can do even better. Yes. So what you are basically saying is the lifespan of a man, what they need to do, there is nothing like reproduction in their lifespan. So for a man, it is very easy to control their weight. And that's why it is very hard to find a man who is obese, not unless maybe they have some sort of sedentary lifestyle. They drive to work, they are seated most of the time. That means that the type of their job, they sit behind the desk. So those are the tendencies in which a man can become obese very easily. So, but talking other matters, maybe reproduction, they're not, they're not in that bracket. So it's hard. Men can really control their physical activity. Yeah.
Can you be born obese?
Yes.
Why?
Okay. So I mentioned on genetic factors. Yeah, so maybe it's just in the gene. In the family. Or maybe the way the mother or the woman consumed their food during pregnancy, it made the baby overweight. So like 4 kg baby, 5 kg baby. This is already a huge baby. And most of the time, babies born when they are obese, they fight with issues like hyperglycemia. Their blood sugar levels are high. And even if they don't have these conditions, they are at risk of getting these conditions. So that's why we usually say, during pregnancy, it is important for a woman to attend the antenatal clinic. Because even if you're gaining weight in the rate in which you're not supposed to gain, the physician will tell you, or the nurse will tell you, we are really gaining a lot of weight. We need to slow down. And there's something you're consuming probably is contributing to this weight gain.
All right.
Yeah.
So if this child has been born obese, what am I as a mother or as a father supposed to do to help this kid?
Okay, that's also a very good question. So you're basically supposed to be keen on their diet.
But
Because this is not this
breastfeeding.
Yes, okay. The first 6 months is when you exclusively breastfeed.
Okay.
Now I'm talking about the period where you have introduced the complementary.
Yes.
Yeah, so at 6 months you've already introduced foods to this baby. Maybe umeanza na uji. Then milk, your diluted milk. So what you're saying is you need to be careful what you give this child. Because we've seen with the way we are adapting the Western lifestyle, even in the supermarkets, when you go, what is the first thing you see? Sodas, or maybe food, fast food.
Yes.
You know, at the very front.
The
door.
very first shelves.
Exactly.
Yes.
In the supermarket. So those are not things to go for. Choose what is healthy. Patia huyo mtoto mboga vizuri when you've mashed, kama ni hiyo mboga yako, you've mashed well with the potatoes and you're giving this baby maybe with soup kidogo. You've catered for carbohydrates, you've catered for proteins, you've catered for the vegetable component, which is vitamins. So don't go for salted snacks like crisps. You're going for smokies, sausages, bacons. Like every Sunday, it's a habit for you to have. You know, for this baby who's already born obese, you're doing more disservice to this child.
Yes.
So this should be things that now they are consuming occasionally. We're not restricting these children who are born obese from eating such foods, but we are saying that they should consume these foods occasionally.
Okay.
Yeah, so like once in a month. And then we should be keen on the physical activity of this child. So this should not be a child who's seated on the television, like watching from morning to evening whenever they're at home. Get them outside, get a ball, play with them, get them a bicycle. It's a form of physical activity.
Alright.
So what you're doing, basically, you're helping this kid to burn fats through energy, any energy expenditure,
Yes.
through the exercises that they are doing.
All right.
Yeah.
So we have touched, that was a question that had come in here on kids born obese.
Yeah.
And you have touched on something and said that sometimes it is genetic. So these people who are born genetic, because now it is in them.
Yeah.
Controlling it is just by a balanced diet, because now they live with that forever, or it is at some point we can let go.
Yes, there are people who live with it forever. Ever since childhood, they were born a big baby. They've grown up being big. Even when maybe in a class, you look at the rest of the children in the class, they're a bit smaller, and then they are bigger. So it's genetic, and we have to accept that this is a genetic matter.
Yes.
But now we, as parents, we have to be keen on the activity
Their
level of
intake
this
and
child
their
and their
activities.
and their intake.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. Let me take one more question here. I don't know where time has gone. Someone is asking, can you go to a gym without doctor's consultation when you're dealing with weight loss?
Okay, you might decide to go to a gym just maybe as a way of keeping your activity level in check. So I know most of the people who do a lot of office work, or maybe the type of work, whatever type of work they do, they just choose to go to the gym basically to ensure that their cardiac output is okay. They can feel themselves breathing. You know, they have, their health is generally okay. So it is possible to go to the gym without a doctor's instruction.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, where can we find you as Dr. Eileen?
Okay.
Yes.
So you can find me at, of course, AR section 58. I consult as the nutritionist there.
Where is AR section 58? You know, section 58 is quite huge.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So along Oginga Odinga Road, yes, immediately opposite State House.
Okay.
The hospital is just, you'll see a signage,
Okay.
which is AR section 58.
All right.
Yes.
So that is where you can get Dr. Eileen. And just to mention a few people here who have been following us. Prince Winsome, thank you very, very much. Wanjiro Mudemo on our social media platforms. We really, really appreciate you. We have been having Dr. Eileen from AAR Nakuru, section 58, and certified nutritionist. And it is important. The key thing is, let us check on what we are taking, what we are eating. What, by the way, do we have drinks that can make us obese?
Yes.
We have only talked of foods.
Okay, so basically we define food as anything you eat or drink.
Intake, okay.
Yes.
What about drinks?
So when you talk about drinks, it's the sodas. you know, the energy drinks that are on the rise. Right now, we have energy
We
drinks
need
from
energies,
every company.
Elaine.
Yeah, so those are the high sugars. You know, when you talk about highly processed foods, it means they have additional sugars.
Okay.
And most of the time, these are the sugars that get stored in the body because of our level of physical activity. And at the end of the day, if they find that we have low physical activity level, then they are being converted to fat in the body. Remember, they are sugars.
Yes.
So we are talking about sodas. These juices, because the juices, they are the worst. Okay, I'm not defaming the brand or whatever, but the chemicals, you know, what is used to preserve them is what now we are keen on. We are keen to check what are we eating. So when you talk about drinks, basically it's the carbonated drinks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any carbonated drinks.
Yeah.
So in case you need to take anything, it's pure water, or you make juice you blend your fruits.
Very good.
That is the intake that is needed.
Yeah.
The healthy intake. Wow. I know we are lovers of sodas, we are lovers of juices, we are lover of pets. Nowadays we call them pets. And mostly you feel, okay, well, probably you're traveling or you are even at home, but now you know you are doing injustice to your body.
Yeah.
Could there be something that we have not touched on today?
Okay, so I think it's important to mention, now that we have touched a bit on diabetes, just like you had said, there are children who are born with these diseases like
yes.
obesity. So there's diabetes type 1 and there's diabetes type
2.
2. So type 1 is when a child is born with that type of diabetes, and it has to be controlled throughout their life. Then type 2 is what you acquire as a result of the choices you make. That means that age is a risk factor. So once you get to 30, 40 is when now we realize that your blood sugars are elevated. And it is very important to say that everyone needs screening. At least annually, you do screening once. Just know your sugar levels. Know what is your pressure levels. How are they reading? We've talked about the lipid profile. Get to know good fats and bad fats. Ni gani uko nazo mingi, ni gani are they okay? So you just want to answer questions related to your health. Yeah, and for this we advise you to visit us in our healthcare center, where we are able to do all these tests.
All right.
Yeah.
As we wind up, we have been, yesterday was World Kidney Day.
Yes.
What is it about?
Okay. So World Kidney Day is basically a day to create awareness on kidney. What are these kidney conditions? What causes kidney conditions? So most of the time we have seen people who have chronic kidney failure. It's the most common. Maybe you have gone to PGH, you've seen hemodialysis, people being on that type of treatment. So kidney are just organs. Kidneys are organs, and every person has at least 2 kidneys in their body. So they are organs that are basically used for manufacturing of the red blood cells. They are also used to get rid of the toxins. And mostly when you're talking about nutrition management of kidney diseases, we are talking about the work of the kidney to clear out the toxins. So we also conduct tests, screening, at least every year, where we do the UECs, that is the urea and electrolyte component. So we want to know how functional is your kidney. Is your kidney performing its function the way it is supposed to do? So those are the tests we do. We do the UECs. We can do one also called the EFGMR. Yeah, so that is just a test that is used to show us if your kidney is filtering blood at the rate in which it's supposed to filter.
All right.
Yeah, so basically World Kidney Day is to educate people what are these foods that you are eating that at the end of the day would make your kidney fail. Or if you have a kidney condition, how are you supposed to manage your intake? Because we have talked about UECs, that is urea and electrolytes. Most common electrolytes are like potassium and phosphorus.
Yeah.
So those type of electrolytes, they are foods that are rich in that. So when you go to the lab, of course in the hospital you are sent to a laboratory. The UECs are taken, and if you have elevated phosphorus or potassium levels, you're able to be advised, don't eat a lot of green bananas, maybe because they have a lot of potassium and your potassium levels are over the
already
roof.
high.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's basically a day to create awareness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And you know, one thing I love about what is happening in the world today is that there is a lot of awareness. So please, I want to urge my viewer, when you hear about these things, you hear about there is a cancer awareness day, there is a kidney awareness day, there is actually a month for diabetes.
Yeah.
We have months for everything. Please, it is important. And I know people fear, let me tell you, sasa kama patient, wacha nikwambie daktari, we have the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
So that is why very many people don't turn up for this kind of screenings and all this. What can you tell us? Because, by the way, we have the fear of the unknown. How can you advise us?
Okay, so maybe just to say, it is better to know what you don't know. Because if you live in the dark, when you look at even cancers nowadays, if it's discovered early through the screenings, it's able to be treated.
Yes.
So don't wait until you get to chronic kidney disease. Tuseme sasa tunapeleka huyu mtu hemodialysis. Okay, if it has happened, imeshatendeka. Lakini if it has not happened, just get to know your overall state.
Yes.
It will go a long way in preventing or ensuring that you are not exposed to this condition.
Any kind of a condition.
Yeah.
Right. Very, very important. Let us take this opportunity. Anytime you hear of a screening, anytime you hear that there is a campaign awareness, please let us go get checked. Let us know our status. Let us start walking the journey. And let me tell you, the doctors treat, but God heals. So let us combine faith and whatever wisdom that God has put in these people. And that is why we bring this program, The Unspoken, because it is God who has given us this wisdom and knowledge to take care of you. Thank you very much, Eileen, for having your time here together with us. Your parting shot.
Okay, so on my parting shot, I'd like to welcome all the viewers. Tomorrow at Section 58, we have a Nutrition Open Day. So you can be able to know your body fat percentage, because now we are talking, right now we are not grading obesity as using the BMI scale, maybe the ratio of your weight to height, because you've seen the African gene is different from the white gene.
Yes.
Yeah, so we are doing the body composition, we'll be doing sugars, we'll be doing free blood pressure, and all these things are free tomorrow. So you're welcome. It's a Nutrition Open Day, and I'll be glad to see all of our viewers there.
Watu wa Nakuru, it is free. Yes, it is free. We are going there in large numbers. Let us go get tested. Let us go and get to know our state,
Yes.
Our body status. It is very, very, very important. Thank you very much for joining us on Oracle TV, The Unspoken. I am willing and I am inviting you for our Kesha tonight from 9 p.m. all through to 4 a.m. at our church, Mountain of Deliverance, Nairobi. This is a Kesha that you cannot afford to miss. Keep your comments coming, keep your questions coming, keep giving me the topics that you will want us to discuss on this particular show on 0782783436. And thank you very, very, very much, my people from Nyeri. I have seen quite a number of you. We salute you and thank you for choosing Oracle TV to be your #1 station. Until next time, goodbye.